Well, I'm from Dallas, Texas. That's where I was born and grew up. My dad is from Austin, downtown. My mom is from a little town called Lubbock, which is up north near Amarillo. But from a very young age, I knew that's what I wanted to do with my life. And so from the age of about 6, I really sought out every single opportunity I could to go fly fighters. And as I got older and I gained more mentors, they introduced ideas to me like, hey, why don't you join the services? Because those are the only people that fly airplanes with big engines. And sweet, now I got to go to the service. And then specifically, oh, well, if you want to fly like Top Gun and fly the F-14, you got to join the Navy. Like, sweet, guess I'll join the Navy. But like I said, I got older and I got more mentors. And I said, well, you know, they've got these places called service academies, and they actually get half of the pilot slots in the whole nation. Specifically, the Air Force Academy gets over half of the pilot slots. So if you want your best shot to fly, you've got to go to the Air Force Academy. So I ended up at the Air Force Academy, and from there I played baseball. I actually unintentionally did really well on what's called the Defense Language Aptitude Battery, and so they stuck me in Chinese. Again, I'm from Texas. I had never seen a Chinese person in my life, but here I am studying the language. Got pretty decent at that. And actually, I discovered that I was pretty good at languages, so I switched and I learned Arabic too. But that was my first inkling that the Air Force had something special. It was taking a boy like me from Texas whose only exposure to a certain craft was sitting in a mock-up in a cockpit of an old aircraft carrier to speaking multiple languages and on my way to actually flying a fighter. And so I had a fairly good idea early on that I wanted to capture that and use it to help people. And so I started to do that as a cadet, even reaching out to high school or middle schoolers and using what I had learned to improve their lives. So that's where that started. I graduated the academy and I went to pilot training. I still stuck that in my mind. I'm committed to making sure that 6-year-old me doesn't revolt. So I got to go get this fighter. So I competed through UPT and ended up in the Raptor, which there's only 183 of those. There's only 200 or so of us that have flown the jet, period. So I'm one of those few, and I feel very honored for that. And it's been a great ride. I've been in the military my entire adult life, so it is the only thing I know as an adult. And the thing I've been impressed with the military is this really efficient and effective processes to include training. You can take a man or a woman that's never even seen an airplane before, and there are those of us out there, flying fighters, who had never touched an airplane before or ridden on one. Take them, and in about a year and a half, make them into a mission-ready aviator, and that is really impressive. And for a while there, if you do it for long enough, you kind of get convinced that the Air Force is the only entity that can do something like that. So I got interested in Afterburner just because I wanted to put my feelers out there as to what else is out there in the world. I'm at, you know, my decade point doing this, and 14 years if you count the academy, and I'm getting a little curious. And so I reached out and started to examine those options. And actually, serendipitously, Hoop reached out to me through another colleague. He was trying to get to work, and Shane is his name. Wasn't comfortable public speaking, so he's like, "No, but I got the dude for you." Having done a few events and then seeing this process be applied to people who are, one, interested, they need it, they're hungry for it, and then watch the light bulb come on. It really sort of inspires in me the same motivation that I had to want to teach and help people in the first place, even though it's not necessarily school kids or military operators. These are businesses, and within those businesses, they're individuals who are doing this job too because they want to feed their families. And so to help them do that more effectively is just another means of me to walk into someone's life, and in this case 30 to 200 to 4,000, and improve the way that they go about their personal goals and desires, which is awesome. And so to do an Afterburner day or a workshop or a keynote, watch the light bulb come on, and watch people go from confusion at the break-in to going throughout the day, and maybe we have some shy aces who get more involved and lean in and discover they're more leaders than what they thought, and then they're all smiles and handshakes at the end, all after about 5 hours, is the experience you have in the military when you go from a kid wearing civilian clothes to one of the most elite operators on the planet. And it's awesome to watch that happen in such a short period of time.